Students, how are you all? I hope you all people fine. Students, in my today's lecture, I'm gonna let you know about amino acids, right? And what amino acids you know till in today's date are there are basically 300 non-amino acids, and among 300 amino acids, just 22 are known as to be called as standard amino acids. So if we just talk about the general formula of amino acids, you will find the carboxylic group over here. This is known as carboxylic group, and this is known as the amino group, and this is hydrogen, and this is known as alkyl group. And whenever you change amino acid, if you just talk about 300 amino acids, you change the R group or alkyl group, right? So proteogenic amino acids mean the amino acids which are used to make proteins are naturally 20 amino acids. But what we have done, we have prepared two more amino acids, and that's why I was talking to you about 22 amino acids. So what are those two synthetic amino acids? They are selenocysteine and pyrrolysine, right? So these are the two synthetic amino acids which are known today. I'm not going to talk you more about this because we are just really going to work on the 20 amino acids which are so important to study upon. So if we just really talk about the simplest amino acid, that is basically known as glycine. So there is the structural formula of glycine. So you can just have a name glycine, and its meaning is sweet, glycose. It's the word glycine comes from the word glycose, and it means sweet. So it is something like this, glycose. And you know what, the amino acid names are usually 20 amino acid names are usually trivial names. Why trivial names? Because we don't use the IUPAC naming of amino acids. We just really talk about this amino acid which is glycine. The trivial name is glycine, but the original name is two amino acids. It is the first chiral carbon. This is the carbon which have this is the alpha carbon, and it is basically the chiral carbon, and it is the first carbon, it is the second carbon. And you know what, this carbon contain all different functional groups if you just really think upon here. So it is the first carbon, it is the second carbon, and this carbon is basically known as the chiral carbon. And that is also very important information, chiral carbon, right? And this chiral carbon contain all different functional groups. Like this functional group is carboxylic amino group, alkyl group, and the hydrogen. So you can just say that this thing is also have a very unique naming in the previous history, and that's why we call them with the trivial names. We don't really go for the international names. So 2-amino ethanoic acid is basically the original name of this amino acid, right? If we just really go ahead and talk a bit more about amino acids, as I told you, I'm gonna let you know about 20 amino acids at least. We classify amino acids, right? And we classify upon polarity. So if we just look at the classification of amino acids upon polarity, so we categorize them in 4 categories, right? So the non-polar amino acids, polar amino acids with no charge, and polar amino acids with positive charge, polar amino acids with negative charge. So these are the major 4 categories to memorize, and we just really I'm gonna really work on these 4 things today, and I hope you will join me in this. So if we just really go ahead and talk about non-polar amino acids, this is non-polar amino acids heading, and they're gonna talk about some non-polar amino acids. And let me tell you one thing, I'm going to let you know about the formulas, and I'm gonna make it sure that I'm gonna do it in a very easy way. So don't go away, I'm gonna let you know about that. Okay, so let's just go ahead. And they have, if we just talk about non-polar amino acids, they have equal number of amino acids and carboxylic groups. As I told you that amino acid contain carboxylic group and amino group, and when you talk about non-polar amino acids, you really talk about equal number of amino groups and carboxylic groups. They are always equal, so that's how they becomes neutral. So if we just talk more, they are hydrophobic. You know that water hating species are hydrophobic, so non-polar amino acids are totally hydrophobic. And these are the few names of those amino acids. I'm gonna let you know later. So R group is also neutral. It's another information that R group is always neutral. If we just talk about non-polar amino acids, alanine is the first example, valine, then there is leucine, then there is isoleucine, then there is phenylalanine, and then there is something like glycine, then there is tryptophan, methionine, and proline. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So I have let you know about 9 non-polar amino acids, right? So I hope you are getting something out of this. So let's talk about the formula. I'm gonna make that formula easy for you. So now students, I'm going to talk to you about some polar amino acids with the no charge, right? Those kind of amino acids which don't have any charge, but they're polar in nature, right? So in my previous, I talked to you about discussion non-polar amino acids. So R group never contain any charge. So these amino acids participate in hydrogen bonding, right? You just need to remember this line is very important. Hydrogen bonding gives the structural existence to the proteins. So these amino acids are quite important for the hydrogen bonding, because whenever they will there in the chain, if you just think that it is amino acid number 1 2 3 4, and this amino acid, if it is polar and having no some charge, and there is another chain going on, these two chains can interlink with one another, and this is because of hydrogen bonding, right? So that is quite important, hydrogen bonding participants. So the following are the examples, like serine, threonine, tyrosine, cysteine, glutamine, aspargine. So these are the 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 are the total number, so 6 are the examples. So let's just go ahead, and we're gonna place carbon and OH over here, right? And we're gonna place two hydrogen. This becomes something like serine, right? And if we have threonine, we just need to do something like place some carbon here, and then the OH group over here, and another carbon over here, right? So this becomes something like threonine, right? And if we just think a bit more and talk about tyrosine, that we're gonna place carbon, and then we have a benzene ring, right? Place the benzene ring. Okay, so what we have here, we have a hydroxy group over here, so that becomes something like tyrosine, right? Tyrosine is going to be there. Okay, so then we have something like cysteine, right? And what we need to do, place a carbon here and place some sulfur here with hydrogen. I'm gonna place 2 hydrogen here, so that becomes something like cysteine, right? That becomes cysteine, that is cysteine, right? Okay, so let's move ahead and talk about glutamine and asparagine. They both have the same functional groups, but there is one difference, that you're gonna place in glutamine, you're gonna place something like 2 carbons. Okay, fine, I'm gonna make asparagine first. I'm gonna place 1 carbon, and then there is some carbonyl, and then there is a amino group again. I'm gonna place some 2 carbons around here, then I'm gonna place carbonyl, and then the amino group over here. So that is something like asparagine. Okay, let me draw the line here, asparagine, and this thing is basically known as the glutamine, right? So I hope you're getting something out of this, and you're understanding the formulas of different amino acids, and all these are polar amino acids because they contain some polar groups, like hydroxy is a polar group. So look at that, the sulfur makes it polar, and this amino and carbonyl makes it polar, right? So these are the guys which are making this species polar. So let's move ahead and talk about some polar amino acids but with some positive charge. Okay students, so let's really move towards the very last part of this video. I'm going to talk about polar amino acids with some positive charge, right? These amino acids contain amino groups more than that of carboxylic groups. So more amino groups are there than the carboxylic groups, and if you have more amino groups, this means that you are making the formula, they're making the compound basic, right? More amino acids makes it basic. So following are the example: the lysine, arginine, and histidine. And there we have something like histidine. You're gonna make the ring like this, and gonna make nitrogen here with some hydrogen, and nitrogen is a triply bonded carbon, and sorry, doubly bonded carbon, and over here you're gonna make double bond again and CH2. Then there we have hydrogen, then we have something like ammonia, and then carboxylic group with like serine formation, so this group makes it as a histidine molecule, and this group is being already made, and gonna make some carbon, which is the chiral carbon, and some amino group and the carboxylic group, right? So this is the zwitterine type of, and this is the additional part of it which makes it as an arginine, and it is something like a positively charged part, right? This is also something like the positively charged part, so this thing is a positively charged part. And if we just talk about lysine, we just need to have 1 2 3 4 carbons with some nitrogen at the end, and that makes it some more basic in character. So this is the chiral carbon containing some amino group, and this contains some carboxylic group. So that's the part of the lysine, right? So this is what we know about three amino acid: lysine, arginine, histidine, and these three guys are basically the you can say positively charged polar amino acids, right? So let's talk about the last part: polar amino acids with negative charge. And this literally means more carboxylic acids than amino groups, and that makes it acidic in character. So these amino acids are acidic in character. And we just talk about these amino acids are dicarboxylic monoamino acids, mean to say they contain two carboxylic groups in the one amino acid molecule. So these are aspartic acid and glutamic acid, right? You have read about the carboxylic groups before. Let me tell you that. So you can have a polar amino acid with no charge over here. This is glutamine and aspartagen, right? So these two guys are not same like this. This is aspartic acid and glutamic acid. You look at that. This is the formula of aspartagen, in which you have made carboxylic group, but these are not carbonyl groups, but these are not carboxylic groups. So they are something how same looking amino acids, but they are not literally same. So you can just have a look. We have made this carboxylic group with no hydrogen because it's been gone, because they are acidic in nature. So now we're gonna make the chiral carbon, right? And this carboxylic group. So that makes an idea of another aspartic acid or polar amino acid with negative charge. Because of this, it is negatively charged. So look at that. This amino acid, I'm gonna make again the chiral carbon here, and that is how I will let you know about all the amino acids. So these are all 20 amino acids I've told you. Two amino acids over here, and 6 amino acids over here, so they become 8. And look at that, 9 amino acids over here, so 8 and 9, right? So they become something like 17, right? And look at that, these are the 3 amino acids which have some negative positive charge. They become total 20. So you can count these numbers, right? Okay, so here we have, right, 3 9 6 2. So that is the calculation of 20 amino acid. So guys, this was my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you have learned a lot of things in it. And if you like it, so do like my channel, subscribe it, and share it with your fellows. And that's enough. And with another video, I will meet you again. So take care. Goodbye.